Hey, I've got a question to ask you, and I want you to be completely honest with me. Have you ever been sitting in a classroom and you raised your hand and you asked the teacher a question, and the question sounded a lot like this? Is this going to be on the test? Of course you have, because we all have. We've all been sitting in classrooms, and the teacher has been giving us all this information and all these facts and going on, and we want to know what really matters. We want to know what's important and what we really actually have to remember. So we raise our hand and we say, is this on the test? Because it's not, I don't want to bother myself with it. If it's not really on the test, I don't want to be bothered by it at all. So in Mark chapter 12, Jesus is asked that kind of question. Somebody comes up to him and they basically asks them, is this going to be on the test? And it's a religious teacher that comes up and asks him the question, and I want to read it to you. It's in Mark chapter 12. It starts with verse 28, and it says this. One of the teachers of religious law was standing there listening to the debate. He realized that Jesus had answered well, so he asked, of all the commandments, which is the most important? Jesus replied, the most important commandment is this. Listen, O Israel, the Lord our God is the one and only Lord, and you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. The second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. No other commandment is greater than these. Okay, two commandments. The teacher asks for one, Jesus gives them two because you can't really have one without the other. And everything is wrapped up in these two commandments. He tells them, love God, love others. That's it. Everything is hinged upon those two things. If you do those two things, it takes care of everything else. It's a wonderful thing. And they really can't be separated. You can't have one without the other. It's kind of like pork and beans, and macaroni and cheese, Laverne and Shirley. You can't have one without the other. It can't be separated. Some people think it can. Some people think they can love God and ignore people, and it's not supposed to work that way. In fact, it doesn't work that way. To truly love God, you've got to love people. Loving God apart from loving people is impossible. And when you do love God, don't just love God with your words. Don't just love Him with your outward appearance. Don't just love Him with what people see. Love Him with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, all your strength, all your guts, everything you've got. Give Him everything. Be passionately, completely in love with Him and give Him everything that you have to give. And then you start this revolution in your heart, and it kind of trickles out. And you turn around and you love your neighbor. Who's my neighbor? Well, actually, your neighbor is everybody in the neighborhood. And we got to realize that the neighborhood is a lot bigger than we think it is. We are part of this big, wonderful, global neighborhood. So everybody is our neighbor. There's nobody on this planet that's not our neighbor. So we love God. We love our neighbor. We love everybody. Okay, we show them the love of Christ. That's how it works. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out and love somebody today. Love God with all your heart and soul and mind and strength, and love Him with all your guts, and then go out and love your neighbor. God bless you. Giddy up!